大家好! Today we are making creamy, delicious, traditional 好吃 onion soup.
French onion soup.
Yeah.
地瓜公主与
汉堡王子。
耶！And when you open this, voila! This is my husband hunting down Granny's recipes. I can't even count, like 100 or more than hundreds. And we decide, we're thinking we want to use well. So it's holiday season. And we're thinking maybe we start with something more easy for me. And we can cook in daily practice. And classic, yummy, smell good.
French onion soup.
Woohoo!
Okay, so something to know about Tifa and I. We're both vegetarian. For those of you who had French onion soup, you know full well this is not vegetarian soup. So, what can we do? Looking at our recipe here, and we'll put these on the screen now. Okay, so to make this a vegetarian-friendly recipe, the first 3 ingredients are okay. Save, we're going to change the butter to margarine for those that are vegan. And we're going to try to cut down on the salt a little bit. Sugars are pretty low, and flour seems okay, but obviously here the beef bouillon will not work. In our case, we're going to go ahead and switch that to a vegetable bouillon or a vegetable stock. The rest of these are just fine. And as you know, French onion soup also has cheese in it. Cheese is okay for vegetarians, as you know, but unfortunately I'm also lactose intolerant, so from time to time I will go for a veggie cheese, and also if you are vegan, you can use margarine for the melted butter as well. Okay, so first off, we're going to start off chopping up our onions into nice slices. And then we're going to go ahead and prepare our butter. Just about that much. You don't need a whole lot. And after that, we're going to go with a ½ teaspoon of salt. We'll be mixing these together on the stove shortly. Coated with the butter. And once that's done, we will be adding the salt. give it a good stir. Make sure it's well incorporated. So if you need to wait a while. This will look like nothing is happening for a long time, but after about 30 minutes you'll find that the onions have become slightly transparent. And at this point we will go ahead and add the flour mixture to the onions and stir that around a little bit. Now in our case, I'm going to let it slightly, I'm not going to say brown, but it's going to slightly change colors before we pull it off. So after letting that rest a few minutes, I went ahead and transferred the onion mixture to a larger pot. And we're going to go ahead and add our sugar to the mixture. It's only about a 1/4 teaspoon. This is a pretty low sugar recipe. So after we've stirred in our sugar, we're going to go ahead and add the vegetable broth or bouillon, whichever you may have picked up. Once the broth has been added, just going to give it a quick stir and then go get your boiling hot water. So we just used a kettle. I mean, it doesn't need to be actually moving, bubbling, but this should be pretty hot water that you're adding here. The last part of this is some cooking sherry. The alcohol does cook out, but we will be adding a little bit. So once you've added it, give it a good stir and get it back on the stove. So while this is getting ready, we're going to go ahead and get our bread ready. Preheat the oven to 375. So we're going to go ahead and slice up some extra crusty bread from our local Fresh Time market. Once that's cut up, we're going to go ahead and put it on a foil-lined pan with some cheese of your choice on top and put it into the oven. So now that our bread is done and our soup is ready, it's time to get this thing assembled. So here we have our Hauscher onion soup. Looks good, huh?
Try?
Sure.
Try it. You smell like a grandma's?
No, but it still looks good.
Hey, we're supposed to taste like a grandma's recipe.
Hey, that's the plan.
How was it?
It's actually pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
It's close to grandma's?
No, but it's still good. I'll make it again. You wanna try?
Later?
Alright.
So while we liked our first attempt at this, the next day Tifa decided to try it herself for lunch. We figured there are a couple key pieces that were missing from the ingredient. Mostly kind of that deeper, smokier flavor that you might get out of a beef bouillon, as well as a little bit of acidity. So to get that smokier flavor, what she decided to try was, instead of using a saucepan, we decided to use our wok. So we have a cast iron wok here that she's added butter to. After the butter has melted, she's added salt, and then she'll add the onions in to let them caramelize. The caramelization happens much faster as the wok cooks the onions much more evenly and quicker. So this is our onions after just 10 minutes instead of 30 minutes with the saucepan. After they've caramelized a bit, we're going to go ahead and add our flour like we did before, but we're going to do it right here in the pan, and we'll let that brown up a little bit. So after the flour has been incorporated and browned up a little bit, we're going to go ahead and add our bouillon into the mixture, and then we're going to go ahead and add our water. Next, she goes ahead and adds the cooking wine. She's going to go ahead and add the sugar, but in this case this is actually Chinese black sugar, which has a little more deeper flavor to it. If you can't find that, brown sugar would probably work okay. And then finally she's going to add 2 drops of some balsamic vinegar that we have to add some of the missing acidity from the recipe. Once added, give it a quick stir and let it cook for about 10 more minutes. As before, while it's heating up near the end, you still want to cook your bread and cheese, and then you'll assemble it and you'll get this nice looking bowl of soup. Let's see how it tastes.
Okay, second try.
How can? It's darker.
Okay. Try it.
Good.
How do you think?
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
If you're comparing it to a real French onion soup. Which is
Okay.
good.
Is it good? How about the first one and second one?
I think this one's better.
This one's better?
Yeah, it's got more, it's just better.
We want to know the truth.
I'm giving you the truth. This one's better.
This one's better?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you what you did later, or watch the video.